At 68 years old, Evelyn Carter forgot her own daughter's name. She forgot her home, her past, even the face she had seen in the mirror for decades. But there was one thing she could not forget. Every night at exactly 2:17 a.m. she would wake up screaming the same words. "I didn't mean to do it. I'm sorry." No one knew why. Welcome to Dreams Never Grow Old, where powerful life stories remind us that the past never truly leaves us. Please like, subscribe, and share. Now let's begin. It started with something small. Evelyn misplaced her keys, then her phone. Then one afternoon, she forgot how to get home from a place she had visited for 20 years. Her daughter Laura noticed the change immediately. "Mom, are you okay?" Evelyn smiled it off. "I'm just tired." But weeks later, the truth became impossible to ignore. At the hospital, the doctor spoke gently. "It's early-stage memory loss." Laura felt her chest tighten. "How bad is it?" The doctor paused. "It will get worse." At first it was names, then faces, then moments. Evelyn began to forget birthdays, conversations, pieces of her own life. One day she looked directly at her daughter and asked, "Have we met before?" Laura forced a smile, but inside something broke. Then something unusual began to happen. Every night at exactly 2:17 a.m. Evelyn would wake up. Panicked, terrified. Repeating the same words, "I didn't mean to do it, I'm sorry." Voice trembling like she was reliving something. Something real. During the day, Evelyn was confused, lost, disconnected. But at night, it was different. Eyes would open clear, focused. Almost like she remembered something. One night, Laura hid quietly outside her mother's room. Watching, listening. At 2:17 a.m., it happened again. Evelyn sat up suddenly, breathing heavily. Then whispered, "Don't tell anyone." Laura froze. "Tell what?" The next day while Evelyn slept, Laura searched the house. Wasn't sure what she was looking for, but something felt wrong. Then she found it. An old wooden box, hidden deep inside the closet. Locked. Hands trembled as she opened it. Inside, photographs, old letters, and a newspaper clipping. Laura unfolded it slowly. Heart stopped. The headline read, "Young Woman Dies in Mysterious Incident, 1983. Laura frowned. Why would her mother keep this? Then she saw the name. And everything changed. Because the woman in the article had the same last name. Carter. Laura rushed back to her mother, holding the article. "Mom, who is this?" Evelyn looked at it, blank. "I don't know." But later that night at 2:17 a.m., Evelyn whispered something new. Just, "I'm sorry." But a name. Anna. Was Anna. Did Evelyn remember her when she remembered nothing else? And what really happened on that night in 1983? Because some memories don't fade. They hide, waiting for the moment they are forced to return. The next morning, Laura sat at the kitchen table, the newspaper clippings spread out before her. Anna Carter, same last name, same town. But her mother had said nothing about her, ever. Laura picked up her phone and started searching. Old records, archives, fragments of history. Then she found it. A small article buried in an online archive. Anna Carter, age 24, found dead under unclear circumstances. Laura's heart raced. Age 24. That would have been around the same time her mother was young. Too close to be a coincidence. Laura needed answers. So she traveled back to her mother's hometown, a quiet place almost frozen in time. Asked around, most people didn't remember or didn't want to. Until she met an old woman sitting outside a small shop. When Laura mentioned the name, the woman's expression changed. "Anna," she whispered, "I haven't heard that name in years." Laura leaned closer. "Please, do you know what happened?" Woman hesitated, then said quietly, "Some stories are better left buried." Laura didn't stop. She visited the old house her mother once lived in, now abandoned. Inside, dust, silence, forgotten time. But in one corner, she found something carved into the wall. Two names. Evelyn and Anna connected by a small heart. Laura's breath caught. They weren't just related. They were close, very close. That evening, Laura returned to the old woman. This time she showed her the photo. Please tell me the truth. Woman sighed deeply. They were sisters. Laura froze. Sisters. The woman nodded. Evelyn was the older one, quiet, responsible. Anna was different. Free-spirited, wild, always chasing something more. They loved each other, but they fought a lot. Laura's heart began to sink. What happened to her? The woman looked away. That night everything changed. It was raining, the woman said, a bad storm. People heard shouting from the house. Evelyn and Anna arguing again. No one knew why. Then suddenly, silence. The next morning Anna was found. At the bottom of the stairs. Gone. Laura felt the world spin. What are you saying? The woman's voice trembled. Some people said it was an accident. But others, they believed Evelyn had something to do with it. Laura shook her head. No, my mother would never. But doubt had already entered. She charged, Laura asked. The woman shook her head. No proof. Just whispers. Evelyn left town soon after. And never spoke about it again. Back at the hospital, Evelyn sat quietly. Laura returned, heart heavy, mind racing. Approach slowly. Mum, who is Anna? Evelyn froze. For a moment her eyes sharpened. Clear, focused. Terrified. Evelyn's lips trembled. I didn't mean to. Tears filled her eyes. It was an accident. Laura's heart stopped. What happened that night? Evelyn looked at her, not confused this time. But broken. I pushed her. Silence. I pushed her. And she fell. Laura stepped back in shock. It really an accident? Or had her mother been hiding the truth for decades? Because some secrets don't disappear. They wait. Until the truth can no longer be forgotten. I pushed her. The words hung in the air, heavy, unavoidable. Laura stood frozen. Her mother, the woman who raised her, was confessing to something unthinkable. Laura's voice shook. What do you mean you pushed her? Evelyn's breathing grew uneven, her eyes distant but clearer than they had been in months. It was raining, she whispered. A storm. Anna came home late. She was angry. We argued. Hands trembled. She said she was leaving. Leaving me, leaving everything. Laura leaned closer. Why? Evelyn's voice cracked. Because of me. We were both in love with the same man. Silence. Laura's heart dropped. His name was Michael. He loved Anna. But her voice broke, I couldn't let him go. Jealousy, fear, loneliness. All the emotions Evelyn had buried for decades, now rising to the surface. I said things I didn't mean. She said she hated me. And then, it happened so fast. She turned to leave. I grabbed her arms. She pulled away. And Evelyn's voice dropped to a whisper. I pushed her. Tears streamed down her face. She slipped. The stairs were wet. I tried to catch her. But I was too late. Evelyn began to sob. She wasn't moving. I kept saying her name. But she didn't answer. Laura covered her mouth, tears falling freely. What did you do next? She asked. Evelyn's voice was filled with shame. I told them it was an accident. And it was. But not the whole truth. No one could prove anything. So I left. I started over. I buried it. Voice trembled. But I never forgot. Not for a single day. Even as her memory faded, this moment remained. Because guilt doesn't disappear. Laura stepped back, overwhelmed. All these years. You let me believe everything was normal. Evelyn looked at her, tears in her eyes. I was afraid. Afraid you would hate me. Laura's voice broke. I don't even know how to feel. Evelyn reached out weakly. I hated myself enough for both of us. I didn't need you to hate me too. Silence filled the room. Laura stood there, caught between pain and love. Because despite everything, this was still her mother. Evelyn's strength began to fade. Laura, I'm so sorry. For everything. Laura slowly stepped forward. Tears streaming down her face. Took her mother's hand. I wish you had told me. Evelyn smiled faintly. I was trying to forget. But some things. Don't let you. Closed her eyes. And this time she didn't wake up. The room fell silent. Laura sat beside her mother, holding her hand. Just grieving the loss. But everything she had just learned. The truth, the pain, the hidden life her mother carried alone. Some memories fade. Names, faces, moments. But guilt, truth, and the weight of our actions. They stay. Sometimes for a lifetime. And sometimes even longer. Forgiveness isn't always easy. But understanding can change everything. If this story touched you, subscribe to Dreams Never Grow Old *. Because every life has a story worth telling. Thank you for joining us in Evelyn Carter's incredible journey.